Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you lucky, lucky, lucky man. Ronaldo has saved you once again. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute since I've been on here myself. I tell you, we got lucky today. We got lucky today. And that's not to say we didn't deserve to win the game. But we can't play like that and expect any real success come the end of the season, come the business end of the season. And too many times, in the first year or the second year, it's okay, we get it, those kind of performances are gonna happen. But this is the third season now. The third season. You can't be doing this. And I see it all too often. The way that Atalanta can, creating chances so easily, just bypassing the midfield. And fair enough. McTominay and Fred had the energy that the likes of Matic and Pogba didn't have on the weekend against Leicester. But they still created chances. I'm not saying it's a European team, they should be creating chances. I get that. But we're doing this back and forth, like it's a 50-50. Why is this game 50-50? Why are we not completely and utterly dominating Atalanta? Yes, they're a good side. They are a good side, but they're not a great side. They attack well, but they defend poorly. Yeah, we got the 3 goals in the end, but for too much of that game, it was in the balance. And I don't just mean in the balance in terms of we got the 3 goals in. I don't mean in terms of balance, just in terms of score line or anything like that, but just the way the game was going. We attack, they attack. We attack, they attack. You can't do it. You can't do that because better teams will punish you. And they punished us with 2 goals, but they weren't good enough to see out the game. This can't carry on. This can't carry on. I've already had my say everywhere that I've been since after the Leicester game. I mean, like I said, 4 games. 4 games, I think it was after we played Aston Villa. We had Villarreal, Everton, Leicester, Atalanta, and we needed to win all 4. We won in the last minute against Villarreal in a game that we didn't really deserve to win. We won in a late comeback today against Atalanta. We scraped a draw against Everton, and we got battered by Leicester. That's not good enough. That is really, really not good enough. I'm completely honest. That isn't. Everton and Leicester are teams you need to be beating. Villarreal, Atalanta at home, you shouldn't be coming back in the way that we did or scraping last-minute victories. If we're going to be serious contenders for the major trophies this season, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And the reality is we need a new manager. We need a new manager. I'm not going to be doing all the hashtag Ollie out, Ollie this, Ollie that. What will happen will happen. There's no mileage in me dragging the manager or dragging certain players after every game if we win, lose, draw like some people do. And that's their prerogative. I'm not going to get caught up in that. I'm really not. But I think if we are to win a major trophy this year, and this squad is good enough to win a major trophy, without a shadow of a doubt, this squad is good enough to win a major trophy. It doesn't mean that if we had an elite manager, we definitely would win a major trophy, but it's good enough to do it. And to give ourselves the best chance of doing it, we need an elite manager. We need a Zinedine Zidane, someone who's managed at the highest level, at the top level, Real Madrid. It doesn't get any higher than Real Madrid. He's managed there, and he's been successful. Very, very 3 league titles. Sorry, 3 Champions League titles, 2 Premier League titles. That's what we need. That's what we need. We'll get top 4 with this squad. We'll get to a quarterfinals. We'll get to semi-finals of competitions. We may even get to a final. We may. If somehow the luck is on our side, we win a FA Cup. But that's not good enough anymore. Major trophies is what we need. Major trophies is what we deserve. We have had to endure for too long boring football, turgid football, bad windows, bad players, toxic managers. We've had to endure it all. We finally have a squad that is ready to win. And I always said, start of the season, Solskjaer deserves a chance to see if he can win with this squad. And of course, yes, trophies are decided at the end of the year, but I think you can tell from very early that we are on a knife edge. Every game is so tight, even though the wins are tight and the losses are poor. It's too tight for the squads that we have, other than the Leeds game and the Newcastle game. Every other game has been a nail biter. Why does it need to be a nail biter? Look at the squad we have. Our structure defensively is so poor. We will always score goals. We've got the players to do it, always. But even today, we come back to 2-2 and straight from the kick-off, Atalanta are in our area. Just like with Leicester, we come back to 2-2 and they go and get a third straight away. Our defensive structure is so poor. It doesn't just mean the defenders, the error from Maguire or an error from Lindelof or Wan-Bissaka or Luke Shaw. David has been brilliant this season. That's not the be-all and end-all. It's how we're set up from back to front, how we press, when do we press, what spaces do we cover. I think there's too much space between our forwards and our midfield, both horizontally and vertically. That it's so easy to get one ball and they're in behind from the defense into the midfield, and then one ball from the midfield, sometimes even from the defense, bam, into the attack, in between those lines. It's too easy to play. Leicester exploited it, and Atalanta did at times. We had chances. We had many chances to win the game earlier. It didn't have to come down to it. But you're not always going to take all your chances all the time. But it doesn't mean for every chance you don't take, you then give up another one at the end. Because then Atalanta or the opposition, whoever it may then take that chance. They may well take that chance. And as we saw today, go up 1-0, go 2-0 up. That's not good enough. It's really not. And the result, I'm delighted with the result. Delighted. And I'll get to your comments in a second. Make sure you smash the like button. Delighted with the result. We needed that result desperately. We lost our first game of the group to Young Boys. Terrible loss. Then we got 2 home games in a row. You have to win your home games. You beat Atalanta. You beat Villarreal. You beat Atalanta. We then got Atalanta and Villarreal away, and Young Boys at home. If we were to win the Young Boys game, well, Atalanta's obviously next. You win the Young Boys game, that's 9 points. You have to get 1 point from either Atalanta away or Villarreal away. I mean, we've been in this situation before. We had Leipzig, we had PSG last year, and we failed to get a point from either of those games, which would have taken us through. If I'm correct, I think our last game is Young Boys. I could be wrong though. But we have to go to Atalanta much more defensively solid to go and get a win or get a draw. We have to get out of the Champions League group. I'm not even trying to contemplate going out of the Champions. Literally, so much so. If we don't qualify for this Champions League group, I want to finish bottom. I can't do Europa League again. I can't. I swear to you, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. What, Champions League Varane turn Europa League Varane? Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest goal scorer in Champions League history, playing Europa League. That's embarrassing. We cannot afford for that to happen. Make sure you lot like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me go through some of your comments. Ian says, Ollie out. And like many others, I don't blame you. Like, have your opinion. Have your opinion and stick by it. And I say stick by it in the sense of just because we won this game, that shouldn't change your opinion, because your opinion on Ollie out or Ollie in, as Nathan says, should not be based on whether we beat Atalanta or not. There needs to be a big body of work that supplements your belief that Ollie's not the right man to continue. So if you look at the past and say, well, we lost all these semi-finals, we lost the final against Villarreal, we keep having to come back in games, we're going goals down, our home form is poor, we're not beating teams on the low block. That's why I have Ollie out. One game against Atalanta shouldn't change that. So stick with it. And equally, if you're Ollie in, if you're saying that you are happy with what you've seen in his first full season, in his second full season, and so far this season, if you're happy with that, you're content with that, or you believe that he can continue, despite the poor form, you believe that he can continue to progress us like he did in the last 2 years and lead us to a trophy, then still be Ollie in. I don't believe he can lead us to a trophy. I'm happy with what he did in his first full season, his second full season, coming third, coming second, getting to semis and finals, and not winning there was very disappointing, even upsetting at times. But the main picture was that he stabilized the club, he recruited well, he created a harmony within the club, really from top to bottom, minus the Glazers, in terms of Glazers out and the Super League especially. We are in a position now where we say, yes, this team is good enough to win. This team is good enough to win. I don't believe he's the one to get us to win. That's my issue. And that's my only issue, really. And the reason why I don't think he's good enough to get us to win is because I don't think the coaching is good enough to perform at the same level week in, week out, consistently. Consistency is the only way you're going to win a major trophy, a league title specifically. You have to be able to do what you did last week, next week, and again, and again. Look at the way we played in the second half. We don't do that often enough. We don't keep that level of intensity often enough on the ball. Despite that, our defending was still haphazardous, even when we were playing well with the ball in the second half. I think being here for coming up to 3 years, including this interim period, I've seen enough to say, yeah, Ollie can get us top 4 year after year after year after year. But now is the time we need to push on from top 4. Third, second, look what comes next. Adaj Free says, Liverpool will reconstruct and levitate this Man United team. Ollie forever. I do worry. I worried about this game against Atalanta, the way that they play so direct. Great movement off the ball. Attacking in droves. I worry. If we perform like we did today against Atalanta, Liverpool will baptize us without a shadow of a doubt. But Nathan says we are winning on Sunday. After all, it is a derby. Anything can happen. It could be a turgid 0-0. I can't see it happening, though. Can't see that happening. Artificial intelligence, sorry, says, yes, Neeks, my bro. Hope you're well. Watch your The Don Robbie channel. Great job defending us. They couldn't understand what you were saying and kept saying to you, stop making excuses. They weren't listening. They weren't listening. I agree. They weren't listening. I wasn't making any excuses. I don't know. I'm not even sure what point Robbie was trying to make, that somehow I was wrong for not being Ollie out earlier, or I should have been Ollie out before, or the Glazers. I wasn't making an excuse for the Glazers. The point is that someone says a great manager. I mean, an elite club would have sacked Solskjaer after 18 months. Whose job is that to do? It's not me. It's not you. It's on the owners to get rid, but they're only going to get rid when top four is a problem because that is their aspirations. That's their aspiration. And if from the top you're not getting the pressure to go and win, you're more likely to fail. Let's be honest. You're going to be more likely to fail to win. Being taught says supporting this team just adds major stress, not good for one's mental health. It's stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it's stressful. Fisher says, agree, there will always be a ceiling. He can only take us so far, even with our amazing players. The hope is gone. If we started this season good, it would have been different. Would then have to give him the season. 100, yeah, agree. If we had beat, for example, Everton and Aston Villa, so you can still lose to a Leicester. But say you beat out Everton, Aston Villa, you at least get a draw with 10 men against Young Boys. You say, cool, all right, we can continue. But there's just too many losses. We're already out of the title race. We're struggling in the Champions League. We're out of the League Cup. I mean, we literally got one tournament left, and we're in October, and that's the FA Cup, and we haven't even started playing in it yet. It's been poor. It's been such a bad start to the season, and yeah, he can recover it, but to what end? How does he recover it? Where do we end up with the recovery from such a bad start? It won't be with a Premier League title. I can guarantee you this. The reason why there's so much space is because we only have Matic, who is a natural six, who knows where to be, when to drop off. Yes, to an extent, I agree. But even when Matic played with Pogba against Leicester, and he was the holding, there was still a lot of space. So do we need two DMs? Matic with Fred, and we saw that against Southampton. That was terrible. Matic with McTominay, like, or do we need to? I mean, is there any point even talking about Van der Beek? Is there really any point talking about Van der Beek? When Atalanta went 2-0 up, so 2-1 up. Sorry, let me read that again. When Atalanta were 2-1 up at around 70-minute mark, David De Gea made two important saves. He's been so good for us this season. Shame about our defense. He has. He had a world-class save against, I think it was Shea Adams against Southampton. We drew that game 1-1. He was brilliant against Wolves. We won that game 1-0. What's that? There was a few other games. Oh, Villarreal. He was absolutely brilliant. Won that game 2-1. Trying to think of any other games we've had. West Ham saving the penalty in the last minute, and then today. I mean, he's been so good. Unfortunately, that he's had to be this good because our defense and defensively, not just the back four, but defensively, we've been shoddy. Can we just not for one day? Can we just for one day not be sour about a win? Just one day. This was a comeback that was legendary, and I've seen many under Fergie. Just one day. Listen, I'm happy about the win. I'm happy about the win. We needed the win. I'm just worried going forward. Liverpool's a massive game. I don't know what Man United is going to turn up. I probably do know what Man United is going to turn up, which is actually probably the most worrying thing. I'm unfortunately today I'm happy about the win, but I can't just look at the 90 minutes. The season is in full flow, and we ain't got going yet. Bean Talks says we should have sold Pogba or Donny and Marshall to raise funds to buy the CDM Ollie wants. Yes, we should have, could have. But additionally, we should be able to buy those players anyway. We're Manchester United. We've got the money to do it. But yeah, we do need to move some players on. Rashford has 2 goals this season from 90 minutes of football. He's already got more goals than Marshall this year. Like, some players are just finished. Panda says, question is of can Fred play like this consistently? And I say that about a lot of our players. They'll put in a great performance. These lights are right. They'll put in a great performance every now and then, but it's consistently. And if it's one or two players who are playing poorly, you put on the one or two players. But the majority of our players are inconsistent. You have to look at the manager and you have to look at the coaches at this point. We were poor in our defensive transition and recovery. They kept finding the next pass that opened us up. We were decent in the other aspects of our game. Just need to be more clinical. Yeah, we could have won the game 6-3. But if we concede 3 goals, against Atalanta or any team in the Champions League at home, there's a concern. You have to look at something. There's a concern. Beam Play says, I'm only out until losing the dressing room. Losing the dressing room can happen at any moment in any single game. I understand you, and if that's the metric you want to go by, fair enough. I can't knock you for that. But what I would say is we will be out of every competition probably before he loses it, way before he loses the dressing room. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. So if you don't think this team is good enough to win, fair enough. But if you think this is good enough to win right now, the question about whether we should stick with Solskjaer or get a new manager, the question should be, can Solskjaer win with this squad? If the answer is yes, cool, stick with him. But if your answer is no, then you have to really ask, is he the right man for the job at this point? What I do is, even if I no longer believe Ollie is the man, I will still back him and the team and let the board do their job, analyze Ollie's performances. I'm a fan. I just relax and back my team. I agree. I want Ollie to win every game. And I want him to win, us to win every trophy. And I'm not going to be shouting Ollie out. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't trust the board to do their job, but you hope that they do their job. And that means also hiring the right manager with the right philosophy, with the right coaches for us to start winning again. Our job as fans is to support. That's our job. Our only job is to support this team, support the club. And that means, of course, if the club are making bad decisions, we make our voice heard. But when those players on the pitch, you support them for 90 minutes or however long the match ends up being, extra time, penalties, you support that team. And everything will, in the end, everything will take care of itself. People might say, Moyes was never the right man for the job. He got 10 months, he was sacked. LVG could have gone in December before he was sacked when we drew 6 games in a row, 0-0. But he took us to the FA Cup and then he was removed. People say Jose should have gone in the summer. I was one. Again, I wasn't Jose out. But I said, you back him or you sack him. So in that summer, if you knew you were not giving him your full backing, then you have to get rid. I wasn't advocating for him to be sacked, i.e. advocating him to not get the backing. Like some people have said, oh yeah, Ollie doesn't deserve any more players. I'm like, okay, not. Man United deserve players regardless of who the manager is. But if you weren't going to back Jose Mourinho in that summer, then you had to get rid of him. And you saw where that was going to end up. Same goes with Ollie. Ollie will, if he's not good enough, he will get himself sacked. I don't need to scream it from the rooftops. I really don't. If the coach is not good enough, he would have lost the dressing room with Ronaldo around. What have been players? You tell me why we're so inconsistent. If you're suggesting the coaching is good enough, why are we so inconsistent? Ravi says the players need to do more well. No player is absolved from criticism when we lose games. Just like all players are credited when we win games. Well, as I said, if one or two players are playing bad, you look at the one or two players. If 7, 8, 9 players are inconsistent, then you have to look at the players or the coaches, sorry, the staff who are managing those players. You have to. Big up yourself, Bill. And it says, I saw you and Ty. Ty is so delusional. Stop talking about Invincibles. Hashtag Ollie in. Every answer Ty gave about Arsenal. Have you got an Invincible? Have you got. My brother, how many trophies do you get for an Invincible Premier League season? I said to him, this is before we kicked off, before the live stream started. Arsenal were invincible in the Premier League. Well done, brilliant. Every team that wins the League Cup is invincible in that one competition. Every team that wins the FA Cup is invincible in that one competition. We were invincible in the 1999 Champions League run. We didn't lose a game. We didn't lose a game. Few draws, few wins, away goals. We didn't lose a game. Arsenal were invincible in the Premier League. In that same season, they got knocked out of the League Cup. I can't remember who to the Middlesbrough or something like that. They got knocked out to the FA Cup semi-final to Manchester United. And they got knocked out in the Champions League quarter-final to Wayne Bridge and Chelsea. They were invincible in one competition. They're not the only teams to do that. Other teams have been invincible in one competition. You got yourself, Ladamus Prime, Wagga Neeks. I saw the second half of the United game. Great fight back. Was the first half that bad? It was mainly mistakes. On a positive note, Chelsea won. Yeah, I'm going to touch on some of the other Champions League games briefly before I go. It is a bit late already. It was poor. We created chances, as we always do. We created chances, but we were just so frail. Of course, yeah, if we score first, the game's changed, blah, blah, blah. But the margins are just too fine. Too fine. Sammy says United need Rashford to stay fit. Agreed. Rashford is so key to how Solskjaer wants to play. And he's just such a good player. We hit the post / crossbar twice and they keep made one world-class save on Ronaldo. Yeah, Rashford at the end of the first half hit the bar and then McTominay hit the post in the second half at 2-1. Big yourself, Nippon. Says Ollie ain't going nowhere. You're stuck with him forever. Emmy says Golan will be gone next week. It depends. If we get absolutely trounced by Liverpool, then maybe. But I don't want that to happen. I want us to beat Liverpool. If that means Ollie stays, then so be it. So be it. Prediction for Sunday. I'm worried. But I'll go 1-1 because I can't back Liverpool to beat us. I can't do it. Yes, I'm still unbeaten on the Don Robbie show. I thought it was over. At halftime, 2-0 down, I thought, oh God, I've lost my unbeaten streak. Thank God. Football scholars agree. Ollie may not be the man long term, but he has earned to be given some more time based on prior years. Performance do have to improve. We do improve as the season goes on. I just fear that the longer he stays, the further and further we get away from winning a trophy. If the team is good enough to win, then the players should realize that Ollie's holding them back and therefore lose the dressing room. Yeah, but they are also professionals. And therefore they give their 100%, even if they don't believe in what they're being taught. But I hear you. I do hear you. The biggest problem at United is we have a large number of fans who are not supporters. They spend their lives crying. I don't think that's the biggest problem at United. I really don't. I mean, we know the Glazers are the biggest problem, but no, I don't think we are. I don't think that's the biggest. Big up yourself, Victor Liang. I should be back on Sunday actually, for the watch along there at the Box Park in Wembley. Just cannot wait for all United fans, quote unquote, on social media. Hope we lose. Listen, I've said this for years. Any so-called fan who wants us to lose is not a fan. They're not a fan. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Why can't you see me? You can't see me. Can you see me? You can't see me, can you? You cannot see me. Let's see. Oh, that's why. There we go. So these are the results from today. Make that a little bit bigger. So Man City won. Oh no, this was yesterday. Yesterday. Today's results: Barcelona winning 1-0 against Dynamo Kiev. Salzburg 3-1 against Wolfsburg. Battle of the Bergs. Benfica 4-0 lost against Bayern. That was 0-0 for a minute, for a while. And what was it? 70th minute, Sane scored. 80th minute, 82, 84. Lewandowski with another goal on his way, what should be the Ballon d'Or. Villarreal won their game 4-1 in the end against Young Boys. I know they were 2-0 for what? Yeah, 2-0 for a while. Elia pulled one back for Young Boys, and then Moreno, and then Chukwueze sealed it right at the end. I say sealed it at 3-1, 88th minute. The game was over anyway. Of course, we know Manchester United beat Atalanta 3-2. Lille and Sevilla drew 0-0. Chelsea won 4-0 against Malmo. Expected victory, but the biggest takeaway was the fact that Lukaku and Werner both went off injured. Now, one report was saying that Tuchel said, or was it in one interview, Tuchel said out for a few games. The next interview said out for a few days. So we're actually unsure how long they're going to be out. It looks like they'll probably miss the weekend game against Norwich, which they probably don't need them for. I mean, that's one game that you think we can get away without having our main striker, who isn't even scoring goals at the moment. Havertz came on and scored a wonderful chip to make it 3-0. And Juve in that group with Chelsea won their game in the 86th minute. Kulusevski sent them top of the group. Kept them top of the group even. So in terms of the groups, Man United, listen, we were so close. Well, we would have been, if we had drawn, we would have still been top on head-to-head. Maybe second on goal difference. I don't know how it works, to be honest, at this stage. If we had lost, we would have been bottom of the group on head-to-head. Yeah, if we had lost, we'd been bottom of the group on head-to-head. But we won 6 games. 6 points from 3 games. Let me just see if it shows us our next. No, not here. Our next fixtures. I know we've got Atalanta next away, massive game. And then the game after that is Villarreal away. So I've got 2 big away games coming up that we need to get at least a point from. We get 1 point, then it goes into the last game, a win with 10 points. Let's see. So if we were to draw with Atalanta in our next game, we'll be on 7, they'll be on 5. Then we play Villarreal, we lose. They'll be on 7, we'll be on 7. They'll be on 8. Then we beat Young Boys on 10. Them two are playing each other. Takes us through. So yeah, we need 1 point from our next 2 games and then beat Young Boys in the last. Of course, we hope that we can get it done before the last game, but the way we're playing, a long way before that happens. In this Group G, which is a dead group, if we're going to be honest, anyone can go through. Salzburg are top of 7. Then you got Sevilla, Lille, and Wolfsburg with only a point separating them. Juve 3 from 3, doing well. No goals conceded. Chelsea, after losing to Juve in the last game, they are on 6 points, and they're playing Malmo again next in the next game. It'll take them probably to 9 points. Juve will be at home to Zenit, which will take them most likely to 12 points, which means that Zenit would have to beat Chelsea by more than 2 goals, or more than 1 goal, and then beat Malmo and hope that Chelsea don't get a point at Juve or at home to Juve even to give them any hope of going through. In terms of yesterday's results, we're not going to do a call in today. It's already a bit late. That is the wrong match day. Man City thumped Bruges 5-1. Sporting 4-1 against Besiktas. 3-2 for PSG against Leipzig. Messi with 2 goals. Porto 1-0 against Milan. Liverpool 3-2 against Atletico in a crazy game at the Wanda Metropolitano, something like that. Can't remember. Ajax battered Dortmund 4-0. Obviously, Erik ten Hag is linked heavily with Man United if Solskjaer is to be sacked. So that's a good showing from him. Inter beat Sheriff 3-1 and Real Madrid beat Shakhtar Donetsk 5-0, which means the groups are from yesterday: PSG 7, Man City 6, Bruges on 4. I mean, yeah, they got bad, so they're more than likely to lose the home game against Man City as well, but they're not completely out of it. They can probably hope that Leipzig can get a result against Paris in the next game, but they're not completely out of it yet. But more than likely, PSG and Man City will be going through. Again, this game, Liverpool 3 from 3, so they're just like, maybe a point away from going through. Atletico and Porto are battling for that second spot. Ajax 3 from 3 as well, 11 goals scored. And they're in a great position to go through. And Sporting and Dortmund are battling for that second spot. And Sheriff, despite losing to Inter Milan, they are still top. Last game, we had a shock win against Real Madrid. 6 points from them, 6 points from Real, 4 from Inter. Sheriff will play at home against Inter. If they can win that game, they're on the road. They're on the road to the Champions League knockout rounds. No, I'm actually using StreamYard. Not StreamYard. I'm using Restream. Yeah, I'm using Restream, bro. This one, the quality of the camera is so much better. You get 1080p, which you actually don't get on StreamYard. They lie to you. You don't get 1080p. And you can't actually, I'll show you what. So if you look at the different images you can get, so you obviously get a split screen there. I can't do this one. You see me there at the bottom corner there. You see me under there, and then you can see down the side as well. You can also do this when you lot send messages in. So send some messages. You can also, the chat comes up on the side there. Send some messages, you'll see as we go on. But big up yourself, Red Devil. Good to see you in the chat. Let's see some of these comments before we get out of there. Yeah, Villarreal, no joke, says Victor Liang. There we go, from Football CFC Andy. See the comments just pop up on the side. I like Restream. Shout out Jay Javan for that. Yep, big up yourself, Red Devil. Yeah, the away games. Oh, that's not the right one. The away games will be tough. They'll be very tough. Villarreal are tough side. I think we can get a draw against Villarreal, which will be very, very useful because they're not a great attacking side. And maybe they're playing Young Boys. If they win that game, they will be on 7 points, and they may even take a draw. They may even take a draw as well. It's so funny because everyone says, "Oh yeah, we want Man United to win for Oli to be in," but then when Man United win, you see their faces. They are fuming that we win. Don't believe them. Do not believe them. You've been good in the Champions League so far. Dangerous team for anyone. Yep, 100% agree. Hope he stays injury free. Samuel Chukwueze. Prime sends a message away. Sheriff Dark Horses. I hope they go through. Hope Inter Milan get knocked out again. That would be great. Comment from Football CFC. Andy says Callum Hudson-Odoi has got more assists than the most creative winger in world football. Jadon Sancho, shameless agendas have to run. Football Jadon Sancho. Shameless agendas have to run. Havertz getting a goal. Hope he does well against Norwich. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Sancho will make it at Manchester United in the Premier League. And Hudson-Odoi will not make it at Chelsea. I like the lad though. CFC's Time says, it's weird. We want Oli to say, but we don't want United to win either. It's weird. You gotta pick it. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? I get it. You want Oli to stay. I want Man United to win. That's the only. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing I care about. I remember the same thing happened with under Jose. There was noise that if we lost to Newcastle, Jose would be sacked. And people are like, I want to lose to Newcastle. I'm like, how can you go into a game for the team that you support and you're like, please lose? Please, yes, I'm support. When we were 2-0 down, I was fuming. When we came back to 3-2, this is Man United against Newcastle back in 2018. Alexis Sanchez scored last minute. I was celebrating. I was in the kitchen with my nephews watching it. And I was celebrating because I want Man United to win, regardless of who the manager is, regardless. But listen, guys, thank you very much. I said it's been a little while since I've been on here, so thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for all the interaction. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Final comment says the fans were amazing today. They did boo the team just when the first half ended. Yeah, I saw that on the highlights. But the fans carried them late in the game. They were still singing at the end whilst Oli was being interviewed. I saw the interview as well, and the songs about Oli, Ronaldo, etc., etc. 100%. I think you have a point, Neeks, but not going to lie. But feeling Sancho will continue to struggle under Oli, and until there's a managerial change, I'll run this agenda. Fair play, then. It is up to rival fans to run agendas on our players, and equally we run agendas on their players. What I don't want, which I don't like to see, is fans of their own club getting onto and running agendas more than anything against players of their own club. That don't make no sense to me. Smash the like button, and I'll see you soon.